Y'all niggas know that there's a bill in talks to be passed that's potentially gonna save billionaires $1.8 trillion in taxes. Yeah, nigga. Mind you, the US is $34.56 trillion in debt, to be exact. And that's because that there's not enough money that they're making from taxes in comparison to the money that they're spending for like all the shit that they do. And I know y'all niggas fucking my last video how I was telling niggas how all of these millionaires and billionaires was eating off of COVID, even some of them getting stimulus checks, and mad at them getting mad COVID relief, this, that, the third for their businesses. But now I'm about to break down to you what is the Death Tax Repeal Act and how this is essentially going to allow billionaires to pass down their estates essentially tax-free if it's passed, right? So without further ado, let's get into the vid. So boom, this is how it's going to start, right? So basically, there's an old head nigga, feel me? He's a billionaire, right? He does. He got a couple of sons and shit. Let's say he got a favorite son, some nigga named Max. He's like, I bet, Max, you gotta get my mansion, right? So he wrote that in his will for his son Max to get the mansion, right? And let's say that when he bought his mansion, like, for me, that first time, it was $200K, right? When he dies now, that mansion is now reevaluated at fair market value, meaning like whatever the mansion would be worth in today's market is the new value for it, right? So let's say that shit goes from $200K, and now in the fair market it would be equated at $1 million, right? So now his fucking mansion is $1 million without any capital gains tax. So he skips that 800K capital that 800K that it grew is not, like, feel me, gonna be capital gains tax at all. And right, there's some shit called estate tax, which is the death tax I'm talking about, and there's an inheritance tax, which are two different things. So the estate tax is basically, I bet once he passes, now there's gonna be a tax on that fair market value, right? So now there's gonna be a tax on that the fair market value of $1 million, which is separate from the capital gains tax, right? And then there's the inheritance tax, is basically whenever a nigga is gonna, feel me, get bread in inheritance, he has to pay a tax, right? But essentially what this real estate death tax repeal act is gonna do, right, is essentially get rid of that estate tax, right? So now when the nigga dies, feel me, that mansion that's a mill is not gonna be exempt to any sort of taxes, right? And this only affects the ultra wealthy, because the tax exemption for real estate tax is on a federal level, and it's, as of 2025, is 13.99 mil. So essentially, these rich niggas are eating once again.